3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Ahoy, friends. It's me, Dave Landau. After a long night on stage, I like to kick back with a captain's hat and a fine cigar and watch the Dennis and Andy show. These guys are huge nerds, but they're the kind that you actually want to hang out with. Enjoy them. I do.
Well, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Dennis and Andy show. We're here. Great day. It's a great day. We're going to talk about Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Madness. Needs an echo. Madness.
Because it was maddening to go see this. It was great. Maddening because what direction were they going to go? What were they going to do? It was maddening. We were on pins and needles to find out who was going to do what.
That's true. So we're going to start off with a quick synopsis, but then we are delving into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, stay tuned. We'll say this is spoiler time, and then you can bounce out. But quick synopsis, Doctor Strange, America Chavez, her power. And I actually knew this because I did read the first issue of that book when it came out, however long ago that book came out. Her power is basically through punching, which visually does look kind of cool. She can punch through and open up portals to the other universes and travel to the other universes.
Yeah, this came right out of the comic books. And when she punches, it makes a big star and opens up. She can travel the multiverse. As far as they know, she's the only one that can do that, which makes her very unique throughout all of the multiverses.
Now, this isn't a huge spoiler, but you come to find out that the main threat in the movie is the Scarlet Witch. So we'll leave that for now before we get into the real spoiler stuff. So I don't think that's ruining anything if you haven't seen it yet. I will say from the trailer, I had no idea that that's what they were going to do.
It was set up well. I enjoyed, he went to her for help. Hey, you saw in the trailer, do you know anything about the multiverse? Why, I do indeed. And ta-da, then the plot moves and then it thickens. Yes. So then the entire story is basically that he has to protect American Chavez from...
It's America, not American.
America
Chavez.
America. I really want to play the Team America theme right now.
Yeah.
America.
It's America Chavez. So he has to protect her because basically Scarlet Witch wants to get that power because she can take the power from her using the Darkhold and go to a universe where her kids are alive. And this is kind of twisted. Take out the version of herself in that universe that is the mother to the two kids, and then she would be the mother to the two kids. Obviously, the kids wouldn't know about the switcheroo. So that's the basic plot. We're going to get into spoilers. Before we do, we should give you our rating of it, what we thought of it, and then we'll go into spoilers, and you can bounce
into heavy
if you
detail.
Don't. Yeah. I give it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it. I did have some problems with it, but those are things we'll get into in the spoiler part of the show. I guess one of the main problems I had with it, and this isn't a spoiler thing, is, the title is Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, but it didn't feel like a Doctor Strange movie, just like Spider-Man No Way Home, the latest Spider-Man movie, felt like an issue of Marvel team-up.
And it kind of was. Benedict Cumberbatch was good. He was good as Doctor Strange. But he was outshined, in my opinion, by Elizabeth Olsen. I think she stole the thunder on this. Great transformation.
It really could have been called, honestly, it could have been the Scarlet Witch, the Multiverse of Madness, leading people to believe that she's on the good side, and then you find out, oh my God, this is the major twist. She's not, and Doctor Strange has to come in.
Yeah, I just don't think. I don't think it did. It kind of did feel that way, but I don't think they would have had as many people turn out because Doctor Strange, everybody just kind of loves him as a character.
Right.
I'm giving it a 7-0. So we're at least kind of in the ballpark. It was enjoyable. There were a lot of things that I'll delve into that I had some problems with, but there were also a lot of really good things with it. The score I thought was phenomenal, and it meshed with the movie. Sam Raimi did a great job incorporating all of that into it. Sam
Raimi really pushed it. This is a PG-13 movie, but it is kind of it's not a full horror movie, but it definitely has horror elements to it. And I thought Sam really actually pushed the envelope going, well, I'm going to ride right up to that PG-13 edge line before it transforms to R.
Yeah, this felt like a Sam Raimi movie. If you like his horror movies, you will like this. If you're a huge fan of his, I think you'll love this. If you're not a huge fan or you're not into the horror aspect, I think you're going to think it's an all right movie. It was an all right Marvel movie, but I actually really enjoyed a lot of the things that he did in there, and it came too. So now you've got your spoiler warning, because now we're going to delve into the real good, bad, and the ugly.
Okay, so you've had your warning. If you don't want spoilers, bye-bye. And then come back after you've seen it and see if you agree. I will say, going in to this movie, just from the previews, seeing America Chavez in it, I was just like, really? Marvel's been around for this number of years, and you're going to shoehorn in some new character that hasn't even been around for, I don't even think she's been around for a decade. Actually, wait, she might have, it might be 10 years.
I can remember when the comic came out, and I remember picking it up, and I was like, had zero interest.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing, in all fairness, it's one of those things where we always say, instead of messing with characters like, existing characters and, going, oh, now this character's gay, or, what?
They didn't start out.
Yeah. Instead of doing any of that, we always say, just make a new character. So they did. And they did. And look, even when I was growing up, Marvel put out books, DC put out books that I didn't like. Amethyst from DC, right? In the 80s.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that book. I don't think it was targeted towards me. Just like I told you, I got the first issue of America Chavez because I wanted to see what it was about. And it just didn't pull me in. It's not targeted for me. So it's nice that it is a brand new character. I applaud them for that. But you kind of think for the big budget, big movie debut, I don't know. There's so much that they could pull from. Are you telling me out of 60 years of Marvel Comics, the only character that can go from universe to universe is this chick?
Yeah, well, they're playing to a demographic, and obviously that was their decision. So be it. Chances are it was a Marvel decision, not a Sam Raimi decision.
Right.
And with that being said, with Xochitl Gomez, her relationship with Doctor Strange was good.
Oh,
I mean, I thought she portrayed the actress portrayed her very well, and the interaction between the two of them was very believable. It was good. I wouldn't say it was a home run, but it was solid. I mean, you actually felt as the movie progressed, he actually did care about her, right. And the relationship between them, you actually felt something. So it wasn't like, we're just going to shoehorn them in. There was at least real feeling behind everything.
They built it up from the beginning. The movie starts off with her in another universe as Doctor Strange in this weird dimension in between universes, trying to basically escape this demon thing.
It's like a nexus point where all the multiverses kind of converge.
Yeah. And they're trying to escape this demon thing, and without giving, even though this is, we will dump spoilers, we won't give everything away. This leads to the zombie Doctor Strange you see later in the movie. But so I thought the beginning was good. I liked how they got her to this universe and stuff. They set it up really well.
It was a good setup. It was a little slow. He went to Christine Palmer's wedding, and I did love the relationship with the doctor out there. And he goes, "Wow, really? You know, I lost all my cats. I lost my brother. You know, you should have led with that." And he, you know, he had gone through the blip and everything. He's like, "Wasn't there another alternative?" And, you know, Doc Strange's like, "Nope, really, it was the only one." And I love that. And I've got a feeling they can play on that. Now, how did that doctor know that Doctor Strange made that call? He wouldn't have. So there's a drop right there in the storyline because it was never announced. Nobody knew what had transpired between Thanos and Iron Man and Doctor Strange. Nobody knew it, but it was still cute, and they could actually kind of play on that. So it was a slow setup, and then all of a sudden the big, well, I'll call him Starro, like from the DC universe, winds up showing up, and we get our first really cool Sam Raimi moment when he gets stabbed in the eye. The eyeball comes plucking out in the end and makes that noise.
It's this demon thing that's chasing America Chavez.
Looks like Starro.
Yeah, it kind of did. And I'll be honest, actually, one negative I had with that scene was it was kind of, the creature to me was more humorous looking than scary looking.
Yes.
And it really, even like from a CG standpoint, you know, the special effects standpoint, by itself it looked good, but in the actual scene in the streets of New York, it didn't look like it fit. And honestly, it looked like something you'd see in Ghostbusters.
Well, again,
because Ghostbusters always had the goofy demons.
Yes.
And that's what it looked like.
It did. And again, it reminded me of Starro. It wasn't very, there was nothing scary.
No, and I'm just wondering why they went that route instead of something.
Don't know. That was kind of a negative.
Yeah.
So then we move on. They wind up defeating it, and then he goes, "Well, so you have these powers to go between the multiverse." And then he's starting to piece everything together. Well, I know somebody, and this is the cool part. This is the big flip, which is a really early reveal in my mind. Usually, you know, your plot reveals are much later. They go to Wanda Maximoff, who's in this beautiful orchard, clipping everything, beautiful white everything.
Well, it's kind of like the place. That's pretty much how it looked at the end of WandaVision, isn't it? When they went away. Yes. So if you remember the end of WandaVision,
and
that's where we catch up.
That's the big possible negative, is you really need to have seen WandaVision to fully grasp what was going on here, because you need to know what happened to her kids through there to understand where they were going with this. So if you didn't, you would be like, that makes no sense to me. And when I take my niece and nephew, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the feeling that they're going to have. But she finally reveals that, oh no, I'm aware that there's demons chasing her, because he's taking back to Cartouche to protect her. And she goes, well, that's because, and the whole thing turns away, and it becomes.
Well, it wasn't that overlay. There was and you know, not giving everything away, there was something she said, even I picked up on in the movie, going, how would she know that?
Yes.
And then he called her out on it.
I never said her name.
Right. Well, I wasn't going to drop it.
Why not? We're in full spoiler mode.
We're full spoiler mode.
So we don't have to worry.
So Wanda and Doctor Strange are talking, and she says something, and she drops America's name. And right then, I was like, whoa, he never said her name. What's going on?
And he did. He said it out loud, actually. And I was like, you're right. He didn't. And boom, she drops it. And then we see this transformation. We get the backstory. From the end of WandaVision again. She's got the Darkhold. The Darkhold has infected her. She's crazy. So this deals from the House of M storyline in a way, instead of No More Mutants. But she's flipped it. She's lost her kids. She's gone batshit crazy. She's going to do whatever it takes to get the kids and reunite her family the way it was meant to be. And this becomes the entire sense of the movie. And she goes, you can either hand over America nice and peacefully, or we can do it the hard way. And she goes, I've been very cordial thus far.
Right.
And they go the hard way.
Well, and you see how much of a badass Scarlet Witch is. I mean, you knew she was a badass anyhow, but they really up the ante, and then with her flying around and stuff in the battle with Doctor Strange and all the other wizards, I guess.
Cartousians, we'll call
the other Cartousians, was very well done.
So the big battle happens. They're going to wind up losing. Then we get the scene where they have to run, and they wind up blasting through all of these different multiverses.
Yeah.
And this is where you have to be a picker on details because it's so quickly. It's like universe,
right?
Universe,
you need
universe.
This is why I want to see it again. Is for that scene, so I can try and pick out things I missed. One of the things I didn't miss was, damn, I blanked on the character's name.
The Living Tribunal. As soon as I'm like, oh, it's the Living Tribunal.
Yep, and I couldn't remember the character's name, but I knew the character. There was this in the lower portion of the screen as you're going through. You see the head that has like the I always say the towel over top the head.
Yeah,
where you see only one of the faces, and it's like, oh my god, that's the Living Tribunal. So that was cool.
Yes. So they go through all these different universes really quickly, but then we get to, I think it's World 838, and this is where the rest of the movie takes place. This is where I have a bit of an issue because it's Multiverse of Madness. Well, we got literally 12 seconds of Multiverse of Madness. Otherwise, it's in 616, 838. Right. We're really only dealing with two universes, so a little underwhelming, especially being a Sliders fan, which, of course, this whole thing opened up very much like red means go, green means stop, which is literally from the original pilot of Sliders. That is the very first world they come from.
Yes, well, it wasn't really Bizarro World, but because that was the only thing that was kind of backwards. But you're right. You know, the title leads you to believe that besides 616, the main Earth or main universe, that they probably would have spent time on 2 or 3 other ones.
Yep.
But they didn't. They just buzzed right through them. So, yeah, you're right. It was really just, I mean, it was still a multiverse because it was like, well, this one and that one. That's more than one.
It was, but that was underwhelming. However, once they get in there and they figure it out, when we get to Baron Mordor, and then we start finding out, oh, well, Stephen Strange did this in our universe, and here's Baron Mordor. And you're like, cool, we get it, but it's not our Baron Mordor. Therefore, there's none.
Is it Mordo or Mordor? How would you spell what you're saying?
Mordor.
Spell.
Mordor. I'd have to look.
That's not how.
Is it Mordor?
Spelled.
I don't know.
Where's the actor? It's right here. It's Mordo.
Mordo. Oh, yeah, I keep saying
Mordo. That's why I'm like, come on, Dennis, don't let me down. I'm the one that messes up words, not you. It's Mordo.
Pull it up. Modo.
No, it's not Modo. Now you're dropping the R.
Now this whole thing's now you've derailed the entire episode.
Whatever.
All because you can't just let me screw up a name like you normally do.
Exactly.
I
get called out for it.
But here's the issue. And we really wanted to see it because at the end of the first Doctor Strange, he's got all of this baggage. Wizards, there's too many of them. We're going at it, and we get none of that.
Well,
this is a completely different.
But here's the reason why. We know that Marvel plans things out, but I'm willing to bet at the end of the first Doctor Strange, they didn't go, well, you know, the next one, Scarlet Witch is going to go nuts, and she's going to want this, and she's going to want. I just don't think it. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was planned out that far ahead because at the end of the first Doctor Strange, with the after scene, you did see, you know, Baron Mordo, and you're like, oh, he's going to be the villain in the next one. And he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. But then that's what leads us into, and they're like, well, they've got him captured. They're testing him. It's really cool. And then we go, well, let me talk to the person in charge. Well, actually, that's the Illuminati. And then we get introduced to the Illuminati from the comic books. And this is where it either is a really high or really low in my book. So we'll kind of take them one at a time.
All right.
One at a time.
Because I think we'll have different views on it.
I think we will.
I think we'll agree overall, but we'll want to swap different characters.
Okay, so go ahead.
So the Illuminati is well, I'm going to name the characters.
Yep.
And then we'll break down who they were played by and stuff. So the Illuminati are Professor X, which we knew was going to be in the movie because you heard Patrick Stewart's voice. It's Captain America, Reed Richards, Black Bolt, and it's usually in the book, it was Namor.
Yeah.
It wasn't Captain Marvel. In this, it was Captain Marvel.
And they were supposed to be Iron Man.
And then Iron Man.
But he wasn't in it.
And so the difference in this was, it was Professor X by Patrick Stewart. We both agree. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the cool part was it was the animated series from the 97 animated series. They even had the exact chair.
Well, that's the chair from the comics at the time.
Yeah, but
wasn't it?
But that was literally, even when he was introduced, you heard the 97 music, the X-Men theme played for just a second.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't catch that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
that was him. For me, I was like, cool. That was great. Now, his death scene, and yes, we warned you there were spoilers. His death scene, I expected there to be this really cool psychic battle. So if you're
jumping ahead. Let's
Let's just hit him. Well, you started with Professor X. Let's just go through him.
All right. Seems weird. But
yeah. So Professor X, I wanted this big psychic battle like in the comic books, when he's always battling, there's armor and there's all of these things. It was, oh, Scarlet Witch, there's rocks on top of you. There's an evil Scarlet Witch. Let me help you. And she walks up behind him and blows his head, and that's pretty much the entire thing. And I'm like, wow, that's one of the biggest letdowns I've ever seen for a character death. It happened the way I expected, but a huge letdown from that character.
It was, but at the same time, it's the Scarlet Witch, and it wouldn't take that much to kill him. Because she's so powerful.
He's the most powerful mutant on the planet. He should be able to psychically defeat anybody.
Yeah, because even
Shadow. So I'm disappointed there.
So Reed Richards, this was the clap moment. My wife's like, why are people clapping? But I was like, woo! Was John Krasinski.
Yep.
Bearded John Krasinski, Reed Richards. He looked great. The suit, the Fantastic Four suit that he wore was awesome.
He was the fan pick, and they delivered that.
I hope, because they established, so there's two things in this movie with multiverses that we know now in Marvel. In No Way Home, the Spider-Man one, we know with multiverses, it's not always the same. It's Peter Parker, but there's different versions because we saw Tobey Maguire, we saw Andrew Garfield. However, in this movie, they also established that Benedict Cumberbatch is the same Doctor Strange in the universes that we saw him from, the three different universes that he was in. So they can also be physically looking the same person. So my hope is John Krasinski comes back in the Fantastic Four movie in the 616 main universe, and it is him playing Mr. Fantastic.
He looked the part. The fans put together, one of the fans did the clip with him. It fit. He looked the part. It was a little flat for me, but I don't think he was acting with the other actors. I think he was basically green screened in because you could tell they filmed a lot of those characters separately. Right. And then they brought them together. So it was a little flat, but I don't blame John on that. But all in all, he looked the part. It was fantastic. Loudest ovation out of anybody throughout the entire movie. So that was a plus in my book.
That was a big plus. Another huge plus and a huge upgrade was, if you guys remember that shitty Inhumans TV show from a few years ago that just totally crashed and burned.
It was awful.
Well, the actor that played Black Bolt is back, and this time he's in a comic book Jack Kirby accurate Black Bolt costume. Holy crap. They pulled it off. It was beautiful. It was a gorgeous sight to see that they pulled that costume off. And that was another moment for me where I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Captain Pike, Anson Mount.
That's right.
Right sitting on there, I'm like, oh my God, that's Anson Mount. He was like, no, it's not.
It was hard to tell because you saw his eyes. that were blacked out, almost like Batman. So you saw his pupils, and you saw this much of his face.
And I looked at his eyes, and I'm like, "That's Anson Mount. Those are his eyes." He goes, "Nah, it's not his jaw."
Dude,
so we were arguing.
I'm not crushing gay on Anson Mount like you are.
He's
the favorite part about him is his last name for you, Mount.
He's the only good part of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds right now. Well, there's a couple.
Well, he was was great.
When they said just one word, and you got to see him use his ability to the proper effect, that was a cool part. That was neat to see. And the way he died, that was also pretty awesome. Cool. It was, he got Matrixed.
Well, basically, Wanda, they said, they warned Wanda because, Black Bolt, all he has to do is open his mouth, and Wanda, what mouth? There's no mouth there. It's kind of like from Infinity Gauntlet when George Perez drew Star Fox and Thanos took his mouth away. And dumb Black Bolt tried to talk, and the sound didn't come out. It stayed in, so his head.
It was great. That was a good, very short, but it was a good addition.
Now here, this next one I think is where we're going to disagree.
Okay.
Or no, wait. Nope, I take it back. Oh, no, we will. On this next character of the Illuminati, I predict Dennis and I disagree.
Okay.
Captain Carter. From the What If cartoon on Disney Plus, they pulled in, oh my God, why am I blank on the actress's name? Because she's so good. I love that actress that plays Peggy Carter.
Damn. I know, now you got me blanking.
I know. And
oh my God, no! Now I'm thinking Peggy Carter.
Anyhow, it's the actress that played Peggy Carter in all the MCU movies. She's playing Captain Carter. Haley Atwell plays Captain Carter. Her hair was longer. She looked fantastic. It was the same costume from the animated What If cartoon when she was Captain Carter. The same shield. This is where I think we're in disagree. I had no problem with it.
I don't think she would have fit in. She wouldn't have been part of the Illuminati. That just wasn't her thing. Her entire persona and what she would do, she would never be part of the secretive group that does this behind the scenes Hydra-ist type stuff. I totally felt she did not belong there. It should have been
Steve?
It should have been, or it would have been Johnny Walker. If you're going to have a Cap type of person, it would have been Johnny Walker. She would not have done that. I totally disagreed. Her death scene was cool.
Okay, so getting back to your point, I can sort of see that because in the comic books, basically, except for Black Bolt, correct me if I'm wrong, except for Black Bolt and Namor being part of the Illuminati, everybody else on it is pretty much an American, right? From the U.S., right?
Yes.
So, but... No, I was going to say, I really can't see the point because if everybody in the comics of the Illuminati was from the U.S., which it doesn't have to be, I could see it because it's kind of like, let's pull in the greatest heroes of the U.S. to build this Illuminati.
Yeah.
But they did pull in Namor, and he's obviously not. They pulled in Black Bolt. He's not.
Right.
So I didn't mind Captain Carter because they're basically saying she's the end-all, be-all hero in the U.K., so she'll be part of the Illuminati because we don't have a Captain America.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me they pulled her in.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Now, the one that I think we'll agree with, they should have booted right the hell out of there or done it the proper way, Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Captain Marvel. I love Captain Marvel. This is a totally different universe. This could have been the hat tip to the original 1970s male Kree Captain Marvel with the blonde hair, white dude blonde hair, red and blue suit. No.
We got Monica Rambeau's mother.
We get Monica Rambeau's dumb mother in the stupid green and black suit. Hat tip to the Captain Marvel movie.
Now
they were wearing that.
I will say, compared to Brie Larson, it is still an upgrade.
Oh, she was great in the role. I've got no problem with the acting job she did.
Stupid, terrible character to have in there.
If you're gonna switch out freaking Captain America for Captain Carter on the Illuminati, then you could have gave a nice hat tip to the original Captain Marvel, because even in the Captain Marvel movie, they made the original Captain Marvel Annette Bening, which pissed me off because it's like, really? You're going to erase the original Captain Marvel that was a guy and was awesome with Annette Bening. So they could have righted that wrong because this is a totally different universe. And if you can't tell, Captain Marvel is one of my favorite freaking characters.
He's got them all.
Growing up as a kid, I've got the entire run. You could have cast a great actor for that role, put him in the red and blue suit, and my God, I would have lost my crap. But no, they went with Monica Rambeau's mom. That was just stupid. I'm sorry, that sucked.
It was it basically flipped off all the fans again.
It totally did. And then, so I'm glad she bit the dust. And then the only other one that I was like, are you seriously kidding me? Baron Mordo was part of the Illuminati. And the only reason he was is because this universe's Doctor Strange was the one that basically effed up when Thanos came. It was all his fault. So they sentenced him to death. And that's when you actually saw in a flashback Black Bolt speak. And he walked right up to Doctor Strange in this flashback. They were explaining, the Illuminati was explaining this to, the main universe is Doctor Strange. And he walked right up to him and he said, I'm sorry. But it was really faint. He goes, I'm sorry. And then you saw the sound waves come off from his speech, and it basically just blew Doctor Strange to smithereens.
Yes.
That was cool.
That was a cool part.
So they figure, well, since Doctor Strange can't be part of the Illuminati, we'll make it Baron Mordo. I was like, seriously? He's part of it?
And he's
Where's Iron Man?
And he's right. Exactly.
Come on. That was the perfect time. There was all the ruminations and rumors of Tom Cruise being Iron Man.
There was also Black Panther.
Black Panther was part of the Illuminati.
And I know people were like, oh, but he's dead and he can't. And I'm like,
it's a different universe.
You don't have to have him take his helmet off. Yes. You could have just had the helmet on. Him sitting there with his Wakandan armor glowing and everything and going, nope.
Yeah,
that's all you had to do. Nope. We're just
Baron Mordo is part of the Illuminati. Give me a break. That was stupid.
So
and he could and everything could have stayed the same. He could have been not a pawn of the Illuminati, but working with the Illuminati, doing everything he did in the movie, except when he goes into the room, they introduce the Illuminati. He's not up there and he sits down.
And again, I don't think Sam Raimi sat there and said, these are who I want. I think he was.
Oh, no. I don't think.
This is Marvel going, here, we're going to insert the dagger and screw with some of the fans.
Here's a good question, because I actually don't know the answer to this question. Sam was the director, but did he have any part of the screenwriting?
I don't.
Because if he didn't screenwrite any of it, he was literally a hired gun for directing.
Nope, Michael Waldron did it.
Right. So Sam Raimi didn't have a choice.
Yep.
Because a lot of times, like Thor, the first Thor, Kenneth Branagh wrote and directed the first Iron Man. Oh my God, I'm blanking on.
Disney came in and said, no, this is what you have to have in there.
Right, these are the characters.
Yeah, this is what we're pushing, so this is what you're going to have.
I think it was basically Disney hired the writer. The writer wrote it and said, here it is. Let's storyboard it up.
Yeah,
this is what you're directing. So yeah, to me, that was. I wasn't impressed with the Illuminati as a whole. John Krasinski and Black Bolt, because we knew Professor X. So no disrespect to Professor X. John Krasinski and Black Bolt were the two moments for me with the Illuminati.
Yeah, I agree. Their deaths were the best too.
Yeah.
Captain Carter basically gets cut in half, which was
cool. This is where I wish it was an R-rated movie, because you really you didn't have to insinuate so much that she was cut in half. You kind of got it, but they never even showed, unless I'm wrong.
No, you saw the shield.
You saw the shield.
You see her from a bus pose. You see the shield coming below the camera angle, and then you see it go through, and it hits with blood dripping on it. The pillar behind lodges in there and blood dripping off. So you know that it hit below the camera angle. They cut back
to her, and she's like, oh, and then she kind of tips over, and you get the sense that it was her upper body falling off her lower body.
Yes.
But then when she hits the ground, you see it from like what you can see of us up, her head on the ground. I thought it would have been cool if maybe somehow they showed like her feet sticking in to where you realize, oh yeah, she's not connected anymore.
So yeah. So now let's fast forward a little bit to Wendigo, because that I was kind of excited. Wendigo.
W-U. You're having issues today, Dennis.
God.
Good Lord.
I was very excited when I found out that that's where they were going.
Did you not like what they did with it?
I thought it was all right. No. But again, the high evolutionary, I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to get introduced to somehow into the high evolutionary, either directly or into the story or something. And oh yeah, no, it was, what they did was all right. I mean, the monsters looked all right.
I thought the keeper, I would say the keepers of the, what would you call that? Not a, oh my God.
The dark home?
The keepers of it, the keepers of the gate or whatever.
Yeah.
The security forces, if you will. I thought they were designed pretty cool. They were these big rock type looking creatures. I thought they were pretty cool.
I think they dropped the ball with the whole thing with the high evolutionary. Again, bit of a nerd, but it kind of wanted at least some mention of it somehow being introduced. Nothing. I see what they did with it. It was all right.
Okay.
It was all right.
I'm trying to think if there's much more.
That really was the big.
We pretty much covered it without getting into like. We did spoil some stuff, but there's still a lot to see. It
was fine. I'm actually on the fence. Other than if I watch this again, it's because I really want to see which universes they transfer.
When we watch it again,
I don't know, because honestly,
like you're gonna have to pay for it.
I'm never going to buy this movie.
Right. So you want to? I
own almost all the Marvel movies except for Captain Marvel.
I don't.
And I don't know if I'm going to buy this one, even though Elizabeth Olsen to me stole the show. This was her best performance.
Magnificent.
The character was well written, well acted. You believed her transformation. Now, why the exact hows I didn't believe. You know, at the end of WandaVision, I'm like, as a mother, you're like, oh, I lost my kid, so I think it's going to be an idea that I'm going to go wipe out another version of me and take it. Versus, I'm just going to create my new kids again. I know. That was a real stretch in order. That's almost plot armor trying to figure out a way to do it.
It's like you can create all this stuff. Why didn't you just create your kids?
Correct.
Unless it was really her thinking, no, there's a universe out there where I have kids. I'd rather wipe out my version on that. The version of myself on that universe and be with kids that I didn't create that were actually real.
Yep. You know, the problem is the more that I keep thinking about this movie, I was fulfilled at a 7.0 level when I left the theater. There was a lot.
Is it going down?
The after credit scenes, Charlize Theron, we get introduced to Clea, and I was very excited to see that.
Costume looked great.
It looked great.
When she turned around and you're like, oh my God, that's Charlize Theron. What?
I know. And I was like, she looked fantastic. But I'm going to be honest, the more that I sit there and think about this movie, it was satisfying enough when we got up. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. Charlize was a great way to end it. And the more I think about this, the more 7.0 is what I had said all along. So I said I would give it to it. But honestly, it keeps dropping in my mind.
See, here's the thing. I know what you're saying. And I could do that if I start really, I don't know. This is probably why I'm not a professional movie reviewer, or maybe it's what makes me a good one is I came out of that movie so jacked from like the eye candy and stuff and seeing John Krasinski and all that cool stuff, actually rating it. When I first walked out, I remember thinking, wow, when we talk about this, I'll probably give it an 8.0 or 8.3 or 8.2, something like that. And then after thinking about it some, I dropped it to a 7.5. Could I take more stuff into account? Because honestly, we have not talked about it in depth till now.
No.
I could take more of that into account and probably go lower, but I'm not going. I'm not going to.
But that's the same thing. The more I keep thinking about it, and I'll be curious when we watch it a second time, if my opinion changes, and I've got a feeling it will, because there were just so many cool little moments that I went, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Lots of member berries that were in this. Right. That's really what this was. It was a movie of member berries. And once that wears off, there's a lot less to it. So I'll be curious. Maybe we'll revisit it on one of our live streams.
Well, it's kind of like at the beginning of a football game, and the Packers run out and they're in their clean uniforms, and you're all thrilled, and you get the member berries. And when the game's over and they got their shit asses kicked and their uniforms are all dirty with grass, and you're like, nope, that's the real team. So I see what you're going with.
Yeah. So it had to be one of the 3 losses last year. Because I mean that once again, you're trying to gaslight me. Just ain't happening. Just ain't happening. Now we can talk Cowboys that way, but we can't do that. Anyway, guys, it's worth a see. And you guys may totally agree with us or totally disagree.
Let us know.
As you're watching, leave your comments below. Smash the like and subscribe button. We love to hear what you guys think, and I actually can't wait. I've already been getting in reports from some of my friends getting their CGC grades on it, and I'm going to be curious as to what you guys say. Obviously, I'm going to say this. Andy and I are the 2 highest ones that I know out of all the groups. So
see, I can't say that because I haven't actually spoken to people, but from my friends that are in the business, in the creation of comic book business on Facebook, I'd say it's probably 70-30, 70. Wow, that was a great 70. That was a great movie. And they don't rate it, obviously, but just from what they've written, they're at least where I'm at. And then 30% are like, nope, it fell apart, and here's why.
Yep.
So
leave your grade below. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all see. And we will be doing our review for the finale of Moon Knight.
That's right. So be on the lookout for when that video pops. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell that's down over there. And remember, guys, First Man, my book, is in demand. I'm fulfilling these babies now. There's a First Man right in here that's waiting for a label to go out to a backer. So go back, First Man, get it while you can before I close the campaign down. Until next time, guys, we will see you later. Bye.